One of the number one reasons why women struggle with dating and relationships today is that they choose men who are not ready for anything real. Ladies, there are lots of great relationship-ready men out here. However, you need to learn how to choose them. I wrote this book to teach you how to do just that. Get your copy of Choose Well, a simple formula to determine the best man for you on Amazon today. And it is getting later in the morning. I actually do not have any appointments scheduled with clients, or at least not yet. I think I have some consults later. And I am headed into the office dressed very casually. I am dressed in jean shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm going to actually go there and get some work done because I've been very distracted working from home. To those of you who work from home, I don't know how you do it because I am very distracted working from home. So I could never do it. I mean, technically I am forced to do it 2 days out of the week. But I find myself very distracted. So I am going into the office. This is my normal day to go into the office, and I'm going to get some work done. I'm going to see if I can get like 2 or 3 hours of work done while I'm there because I have some administrative stuff to do. So I could not fit the entire title into Instagram, but I am going to put the entire title there when I repost this. But it is emotional immaturity is the biggest barrier to having a healthy relationship. Emotional immaturity. That's, if I could boil it down, if I could sum it up with one thing, that is the one thing that it would be, is people are emotionally immature. They don't have the skills necessary to have healthy long-term relationships. The reason why, and I was talking about this with a group of friends yesterday, the reason why people between the ages of 18 and 40, I'm going to go as high as 40. So 18 and 40, the reason why they are pursuing short-term relationships or situationships or friends with benefits or whatever you want to call it is because they do not have the emotional maturity. They do not have the proper skills and tools that a person would need to be in something long-term. And now, because this is like a virus, right? This is like a virus that is overtaken all of us. It is infecting older people because here's what you need to know about viruses, okay? That once they get into a society, once they get into a culture, once it takes hold of the young people, it's just a matter of time before the older people get infected too. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people who know better, right? People my age, I'm 56. So if you above 50, you know better. Like this hookup thing, this situation thing, this, I don't want to get married thing, and I don't want to be responsible thing, that's new to you. That's new to you. That's not how you grew up. This, I don't want to approach women thing, this, women aren't worth it thing, men aren't worth it thing. Like, you didn't grow up like this. You grew up hollering at people at the mall, trying to get numbers. You grew up going to school dances. You grew up hanging out at the McDonald's. You grew up like going steady, going together. All of this is out of your wheelhouse. What are you doing? So if you 50 and above and you doing this nonsense, like you actually participating in this, you should triply be ashamed of yourself because you didn't grow up with any of this. You grew up listening to 80s and 90s R&B. You grew up where men, male R&B artists did nothing but beg on songs. Begging for the woman, begging for a chance, begging for her to take him back. Like, what are you doing? And now all of a sudden, you got options. you don't want to settle down. You don't want to get married, or maybe you've been married and you divorced and that hurt your little heart. And now you can't do that again. I can't take no chances and all this. You did not. No, stop trying to do what young people do. Okay. Stop trying to do what young people do, because you didn't grow up with this. And it's not a good look. If I may say so, it's not a good look. It is not a good look for a 50-plus-year-old man, or a 50-plus-year-old woman for that matter, to be doing some of the nonsense that y'all are doing. It's a horrible look. It's a horrible look. And yet here we are. Anyway, and look, Gen X, we technically supposed to be teaching the younger people. And y'all out here participating in this foolishness. But anyway, I digress, because y'all will get my pressure up this morning. But it is emotional immaturity. That is what's holding a lot of us back. Now, if you're 18, I understand that. That makes total sense to me, because you ain't never lived. You ain't never done nothing, been nowhere, and experienced nothing. So I get that. But if you're 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, you 40 years old and you can't regulate your emotions? You 35 years old and you can't be in no healthy, committed relationship? That's weird. That's weird, y'all. I have people coming in my practice 32, 34, 37 years old, and they actually say these words to me, to my face. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too young to settle down. I'm too young to be someone's mother or father. I'm too young to be 37, 35, 32. And look, if you a woman, oh Lord, y'all really gonna hate this. If you a woman, by the time you 35, you have 5% of the eggs that you were born with left. 5%. So you may be onto something when you say, oh, I can't be nobody's mother. You may not be, because you got 5% of all the eggs that you were born with left in your body at 35. When you turn 40, you have 1%. So keep playing. Keep playing with Mother Nature. And look, these feminist women, they be hot. They be hot. They be on fire. They be so furious and so mad when I tell them a biological fact. How dare you tell us a biological fact about women and about female sexuality? How dare you? And then the first thing out of their mouth, what is IVF? There's IUI. If it worked. Sure, if it worked for you, did you know there's a percentage of women that it doesn't work for? So that's a chance you want to take? Okay. Like I said, I allow people to be them and do them. I got some feminist people right now hot on the internet with me right now because, and look, these are the women that keep saying, let women do whatever they want with their bodies. Let women, why are y'all trying to control women? Why are you trying to control women in their bodies? So forget the fact that pornography doesn't benefit women. Pornography is incredibly abusive and exploitive to women. Sex work is not work. Okay, let me stand on that mountain right now so you know where I stand about that. Sex work is not work, baby. It is not work, and it is incredibly exploitative. It is incredibly traumatizing and abusive to women. And what's beyond sad to me, see now I'm getting all riled up, y'all. I'm getting riled up. What's beyond sad to me is that feminism, these feminists, these radical feminists, they basically want the right to destroy themselves. They want the right to destroy themselves. Now, this is what they're not telling you. Their choices also hurt other people. And that I have a problem with. That's what I have a problem with. You want to destroy yourself? Like, I have to agree with the fellas on this one. There are some women that will not be saved. There are some women that just will not be saved. They are that ignorant. They are that clueless that they're going to continue down this dark path, this very dark road of, oh, I should be allowed to do whatever I want with my body, and this shouldn't matter, and me sleeping around shouldn't matter. and I should be able to do porn and OnlyFans, and I should be able to go on to have a normal, healthy life and a normal, healthy family, those women will not be saved. I've come to that realization just like the men have. So I'm not talking to them. I'm not talking to them. I've long decided, okay, there's just some of us that's not going to be saved. Some of us are so indoctrinated, so brainwashed by the foolishness, like I said, they just will not be saved. I've come to terms with that. And as much as it hurts me, as much as it hurts my heart, because I don't want to see one woman go off into the pit of despair, I have to accept it. There are just some women that will not be saved. But these things do not benefit women. Hookup culture does not benefit women. I've said that 1,000 times. But you cannot tell these left liberal feminists, you cannot tell them that. And it's like, okay, I just have to let them, reap the whirlwind. But that stuff does not benefit them, and it does not benefit other women and children. And like I've said before on another live, what is really burning me up inside is the fact that nobody in all of this, not the women and not the men, you're not thinking about children. That's the part that nobody's thinking about the children. You got all these people coming together and they're making children, and most of these children are not wanted, they're not desired, they're not planned for. And what's the option, y'all? What's the option? Right now we got two options. We can go off and we can, terminate the pregnancy. That's the word I was told to use. I can't use the A word anymore. We can terminate the pregnancy. We can keep the pregnancy and maybe, adopt out the child, or we can keep it and we can raise it. So I don't like any of those options, in the sense of you having an unwanted child. Like, I don't like any of those options. I plan to have all three of my children. And to this day, there are people, they will say to me, how did you do that? Like it's some sort of weird mathematical problem. Like, how did you do that? Well, I prevented pregnancy. So there was a period of time where I wasn't having sex at all. Then I prevented pregnancy by using birth control. And then I got married. And when I was ready to have a child, I said, oh, I'm ready to have a child. And then I stopped taking preventative birth control. Like, everybody should do that. Honestly, everybody should do that. Everybody should abstain. If you're going to have sex, use the best form of birth control you can find. And then you should plan to have your children. Like, I would love to see, so it is my greatest hope that all children be planned, that all children be wanted. And it breaks my heart that the majority of them are not. Like, I don't understand that. As a person who is radically responsible for her life, who is radically accountable, I don't understand that. I still don't understand that. I don't understand the oops. Because last I checked, if you're a grown adult, you know how babies are made. You know where babies come from. Sex makes babies. Okay? So that's why I gave you those options. Don't have sex. If you absolutely feel like, oh, I just got to have some sex, find the most reliable form of birth control you can find. Use it consistently. But, okay, that's all I got. I don't like the option of terminating pregnancy. I don't like the option of keeping a pregnancy and adopting it, because again, I pray that someone who's a really good person adopts that child. But as we see, there are lots of people who are not great, and they get the child, or the child ends up in foster care. And then you keep the pregnancy and you try to raise the child. But let's keep it real. This wasn't planned. This wasn't what you wanted. Or maybe the father is not in the picture. So to me, all of those options are not healthy options. I'm going to say this. I have great respect for women who do try. I do. So if you're a woman who's like, okay, my pregnancy was unplanned, it happened, but you know what? I'm going to take radical responsibility. I'm going to take on the responsibility of, I have nothing but respect for you. I really do. And to that I say, okay, do everything you can in your power to prepare yourself now to be a parent. Just do everything in your power to prepare yourself to be a parent. Thank you so much, Carlin, for buying a badge. I appreciate you. Okay? But honestly, the ideal, the top of the mountain ideal is the formula I gave out in the last video. Okay? LMSB. Love, marriage, sex, babies. That's the ideal formula. That is God's design. And remember, y'all, the way God designed it is best by default because he made you. He created you. He gave you the formula that if you applied it, it will work most of the time. Most of the time, it will work. But no, y'all know better than him. You're so smart. You know so much. And look at all the crap we in. Because man is just so smart. Y'all know so much better than the God that created you. And look at the crap that we're in right now. Anyway, I done gone clean off the subject because like I said, these feminists, I was responding to their messages earlier this morning and they was just, ooh, it's burning me, man. It's burning me up. Like, what is, you are willing to die on a mountain. You're willing to die on a hill that will kill you. Like, that's how sick it is. You're willing to go down with a ship that will kill you and other people. You're willing to take you out and other people out over some ridiculous nonsense. It's mind altering. But you know what? I've been telling myself lately, Anita, you know, you have the right to think the way you think. They have the right to think the way they think. They have the right to go down with the ship. Let them go down. Okay? Let them go down. You cannot save them. Okay? Thank you, Tanya Mitchell. I appreciate you, baby. But, y'all, they got me hot. Because what they don't understand is some of their behaviors hurt other women. Hurt good women. Think about that. So the 304s, the hoes, what they're doing is hurting good women. What they're doing is dragging every woman's reputation. And I get it. I guess you don't want to be responsible for that. I was raised different, y'all. I was raised different. I was raised to believe we all affect each other. We're all connected. We're all connected. And right now, we're living in a society where people definitely don't believe that. They're like, nope, you are you, I am me, we are individual, you have nothing to do with me, I have nothing to do with you, I'm self-made, everything I've created, I've created, like that's the society we live in now. We don't believe that we are all energetically and spiritually connected. And people are out here just wilding. And so when I see good women, when I have good women email me, DM me, and they're just like, yeah, I don't know. Like these men keep talking about all these bad women or the things that these women do. And that's not me. Like, why are they doing that? Why are they, oh no, I'm not messing with y'all women no more. I'm done with women. They're like, well, dang, what have I done to you? But that's what we don't understand, is that these other women have now made it bad for all of us. These other women have given all of us a bad name. And that's why, ladies, and y'all not going to want to hear this, but this is the truth. That's why women need to check other women. Women need to keep checks and balances when it comes to other women, because what you think is not going to hurt you in the end, it's going to hurt you. That's why you don't let other women go out here and wild out and you support their foolishness and all of that. Yeah, girl, hot girl summer. I don't support that. Okay? I don't support that. Because I know supporting that type of behavior, even if I don't participate in it, it's going to hurt me in the end. So no, I don't support it. No, I don't think it's harmless fun and, oh, just let women be young and it's harmless fun, Anita. Why are you messing up everybody's good time? It's harmless. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's going to bounce back on me. It's going to bounce back on other women. So no, I'm never going to support it. That's not going to happen. But back to the topic. So these are the things necessary if we're going to have a healthy relationship with another person, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. You need to have a measure of emotional maturity. You need to learn how to regulate your emotions in a healthy way. You need to learn how to express yourself. You need to learn healthy communication. You need to be able to tell people what you want and need. You need to learn how to be the bigger person. Stop being so petty all the time. That's for children. Being petty and getting revenge and getting licks back and all of that, that's for children. That's what children do. Grown-ups just go about their business. That's the difference between kids and grown-ups. Grown-ups, y'all love to talk about taking L's and, oh, you just got to take that L. Yeah, grown-ups just go about their business. They just go about their business and say, oh, well, that didn't work out. This person wasn't who I thought they were, or they call themselves trying to trick me or get over on me. Oh, well, grown-ups just, they go about their business. They don't spend time on all these games and then playing all these relationship games like, oh, let me pretend to be someone I'm not. Let me put on a mask. Let me pretend to be what this person wants me to be. And, make them feel all good and warm and fuzzy and fall in love with that. And then as time progresses, because, I'm getting tired of doing that because that's not really who I am, I'll fall off. I'll really become who I really am. And then I'll expect that person to kind of, accept this person. Like, no, just be you. And people who are emotionally mature, they accept themselves, flaws and all. They have radical acceptance of themselves. And so they're not looking to pretend to be someone else. They're not looking to pretend to be someone's dream girl or dream guy. They just are. Like, I just am. I show up. I just am. I've radically accepted all of me, all of what I come with. And I'm at a point in my life where you like it, you love it, you don't. It's okay. All right. Garland Stillwell says, why do I see feeds of 45-year-old women trying to act 18? Please stop. They must not have sons. The only women over 40 I want to see in skimpy clothes is my woman. And then there is Tia Mowry. Yeah. Like I said, the older women are no longer like teaching younger women. They don't take honor in that. They don't see an honor in being older and wiser anymore. They want to be young and dumb. They want to be young and dumb. And to me, it's what my grandfather called an old fool. Ain't no fool like an old fool. That's what my grandfather used to say. So I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in learning and growing and actually applying some of the very hard lessons that I learned throughout my life. And I share those lessons with other people. That's what my platform is for, is to teach women, hey, these are some things I did when I was young and dumb. These are some things I did before I knew my worth, before I knew my value. These are some things I did, before I had healthy self-esteem. So I want you to work on that. I was once known as a sapphire. And I've talked about this, a very hot-tempered, vengeful woman. And like, who does that benefit? Like, what is the point of that? Who does that benefit? Like, at some point, I had to grow up. I had to stop, this idea of get back, or if someone didn't respond the way I wanted them to, or whatever. It was like, it was ridiculous, and it was exhausting. It was exhausting. And then finally I said, yeah, I just need to leave people alone. Like, I don't need to get back. I don't need to lash out. I don't need to slash tires or throw bricks through windows. I just need to go about my business. I need to love myself more. I need to find ways to not be in situations like this. See, that's what grown-ups do. Grown-ups actually go in They go in, they stop saying, why is this person treating me this way? Why is this person doing this? Why is this person cheating? Grown-ups say, why am I taking this person back? Why am I allowing this person to treat me this way? What's going on inside of me that I feel like I need to accept this type of treatment? See, that's what grown-ups do. That's what grown-ups do. But children are constantly focused out. They're constantly trying to change other people. Grown-ups are working on themselves, okay? He says, no, your wisdom is needed, so keep on keeping the ship afloat. Thank you. Garland says, sweet little Miss Anita, hot-tempered. No, yeah. That was another time, y'all, in another life. Another time in another life. Y'all see how hot I get about certain stuff. I'm passionate. I am very passionate in all areas. Okay? I am a passionate woman. So just know that in all areas, all right? But I have learned to temper that because it's like, okay, I've learned to respond with a lot of okays because I just don't have the energy. And what is the point? I can't control other people. The only person I can control is me. And that's what we need to focus on more. We got to work on focusing on ourselves. Okay? And going in. Why am I ending up in these situations? Why am I ending up with these type of people over and over and over? That's what emotional maturity does. It goes in. That's it. But no, emotionally immature people, they blame, they shame, they name call, they try to change other people. I could go on and on. They project. They have a bunch of cognitive distortions. They're black and white thinkers. They're fortune tellers. They love creating narratives. They love creating stories. They don't know how to access their wise mind. And remember, your wise mind is in between your logic and your emotion. We marry those two things together, and in the middle of that is the wise mind. We're not just logical and factual, and we're not just full of emotion and feelings. We try to tie those together, and we access our wise mind. Emotionally mature people are sacrificing people. Emotionally mature people are patient people. Okay? They are in it for the long game, not the short-term gratification. Emotionally mature people, they understand that we're all connected. That if I hurt someone else, I am in turn hurting myself. Okay? Emotionally mature people are self-interested. So they're not selfish and they're not selfless. They're right in the middle. I care about you. I care about me. Okay? That's what emotional maturity looks like. And somewhere in there of me caring about you and caring about me, we can figure this out. But it's not all about you and it's not all about me. Emotionally mature people compromise. They negotiate. Okay? But the number one thing I find that is missing is the lack of communication. A lot of emotionally immature people do not talk about, they do not address what is really bothering them, what is really hurting them, what is a problem for them, what is a deal breaker for them. They hold it in. They feel like the other person should just know, and then no change is forthcoming, and then they start acting out. Emotionally immature people act out. They have what we call protest behaviors. All right, I'm going to move my phone because the sun is beaming on my phone, y'all. And it's going to overheat my phone. There we go. Okay, so when you are emotionally mature, as hard as it is, and it can be hard. It's what I keep telling people. It can be hard to say, hey, we haven't seen each other in a while. Hey, we haven't gone on a date. Hey, we haven't had fun together. Hey, we're not talking on the phone. We're not texting. Hey, we're not making love. Whatever that thing is. It can be very hard to do that. Or, hey, this is something I'd like to try. This is something I'd like to see it more in our relationship. It can be hard to do that. it requires a level of vulnerability. Emotionally mature people are vulnerable. They're willing to put themselves out there. But once it's out there, it's like, okay, I've done my part. I've put it out there. What do you think about this? How do you feel about this? You get that person's feedback. You wait and see if there's any application or any change or any growth. You may have to bring it to them again. And that's what y'all really don't want to hear. Well, why do I have to say it again and again? Because that's how humans work. There's two things that y'all should never do if you don't like repeating yourself. You ready? Number one, don't get married. Don't get married. If you don't like repeating yourself, don't get married. Number two, don't have no children. You don't like repeating yourself? Don't have no children. I have been in the parenting game 24 years. 24 long years. And all I do is repeat myself. And guess what? Because I'm emotionally mature, I've accepted that that's just how it's going to be. That's it. You don't need to get mad. You just need to do it. But that is how humans work. They need reminders. They need you to say it more than once. And again, that's your job. It's your job to continue to express what you need, what needs to change, how we need to grow. That's it. So we don't have the skills. We don't have the patience. We don't have the fruits of the spirit. And look, I'm gonna look up the fruits of the spirit, because y'all think I'm playing. We don't have the fruits of the spirit. That's exactly why we in the predicament that we in. Love. Oh Lord. Y'all don't even believe in love. Y'all do not even believe in love anymore. Guess what I had somebody tell me the other day? Love, that is the most outdated, antiquated concept. I'm like, wow. Joy, peace, patience, kindness. Let's talk about kindness. Let's talk about kindness. Y'all don't have basic kindness for one another. Goodness. Faithfulness. Woo! Y'all not doing good with this list. Faithfulness. Can you be faithful? Can you choose a person and commit and be faithful? Ooh. Gentleness. It's some men need that. And self-control, and all y'all need that. That ain't for the men or the women. That's for all y'all. Can't none of y'all act like y'all can control yourself. So, emotionally mature people have the fruits of the spirit, or they're working on it. They're working towards it. So that's the list right there. If you running short on any of them, keep doing the work. Keep doing the work, okay? But self-control. How many people are self-controlled? How many people are self-disciplined? Men are running around like, oh my God, we can't go without sex a day, an hour. We can't control ourselves. We gotta have multiple wives, and we gotta spread our seed, and all this other crap, this other agenda that you've been fed that feeds into your lack of self-control, when the actual truth is, with God all things are possible, that once you put your mind to a thing and you make the necessary steps to actually walk that out, you can do anything. You can do anything. Now, if I be so honest, bruh, you may have to stay off your phone, stay off of social media, stay out the porn sites. There's things you're going to have to do to actually, to live in integrity and in self-control. But the question is, do you want to do that? Okay. But yeah, I know plenty of men who have excellent sexual discipline, excellent self-control, and they have made a decision. And what I love about those men is they made a decision. They just said, yeah, I want to exhibit more self-control in these areas, and I'm built to do hard things, and that's what I'm going to do. I had a pastor I'm going to look up the definition of this word. Oh, Lord. So look at this. I had a pastor once tell me that men who refuse to grow up, men who refuse to marry, men who refuse to have children, men who refuse to sexually discipline themselves or just do anything hard. I had a pastor once tell me that these men were acting in an effeminate way. That's what he told me, effeminate. Okay? Here's the definition of effeminate. With reference to a man having characteristics and ways of behaving traditionally associated with women and regarded as inappropriate for a man. Yeah. And so really think about that. That are you as a man doing things that men do? And a lot of those things are hard things, right? Are you doing the things that men do? Or are you trying to stay in a perpetual state of pleasure? Trying to stay in a hedonistic state? Trying to stay in a perpetual state of boyhood? Because I'm going to be honest with you. Anytime I meet a man my age and he is unmarried and has no children, it is a complete and utter turnoff. And people have gotten on me about this. Like, oh, you've inferred, you made up a story about this man. And let me say this, because this is the other thing y'all be getting in your feelings about is the judging. God has ordered us to judge character. He has ordered and directed us to judge a person's character. You're a fool if you do not. You are to judge a person's character. All right. And the Bible talks about that, where he talks about people of bad character. They will ruin people of good character. Okay. So you best be judging people's character. You best be judging if people are in integrity. All right. Now I can't judge you in the sense of I can pull down a sentence against you. There's nothing I can do about it. It's simply my opinion. That opinion could even be biased, but that isn't judge. That isn't judging you. That's just, okay, that's my opinion. That's not a good idea. That's something that ain't going to end well. That's just called my opinion, because guess what? I can't judge you. I can't render any sentence. I can't do anything about it. I can't affect your life in the least. But if you're going to be with me, like if you're going to be in my life, if we're going to be friends, if we're going to date, you best believe I'm going to judge your character. You best believe I'm going to infer some things about the choices that you've made. Because that's, I mean, come on, that's common sense. Common sense says that if you're a man and you have 8 children and they all have different mothers, you lack sexual discipline. You lack making good judgments. Like you just don't make good decisions. You lack the use of, proper birth control. I could even call you sexually reckless. Like you're sexually reckless. You're out here having sex unprotected with a variety of women, and those women are getting pregnant and you have a bunch of kids by them. Like, come on now, y'all, stop it. Stop acting like that's not, that couldn't possibly be true. That most definitely could be true. Yeah. Okay, Garland says those men are so horny, they are just disciplined. Yep. People too shallow for all of that. Yeah. Okay. And I'm downtown, y'all. I had to come downtown for a second and pick something up, and then I'm heading to the office. It's like a microwave, no patience. Put the pot back on the stove and be patient. Yeah. Think it's good to judge moral ethics more severely. Precisely. You have to judge people's character, especially if you're going to be involved with them. So it's just like a job, right? A job that is going to hire you. And especially these highfalutin government jobs, they need you to have a clearance. You don't think you're being judged? They digging all in your background. They digging all in your background. And they should. And they should. If you're going to work for the Secret Service, if you're going to work for some high post government job, yeah, they're going to judge you. And they should. And they should judge you. So that's why we got to stop all of this. Well, you're judging and Christians are the most judgy people. Because we have God's word. The reason this why y'all saying that. You ready? The reason why you so uptight about that is because we actually know the right way to live. We actually know right from wrong. And that's shocking to y'all. Like, oh, how dare you point out something that is, immoral, illegal, or unethical? How dare you? That's what's got y'all's panties in a bunch. Those of us who believe in the Bible, those of us who believe in God, who believe in Christ, and we want to live right and actually do right, we actually know how to live. We actually know what's right and wrong. And y'all feel a way about that. So, okay, that's on you. Dan_San1, but you have to take your time to get to know women. Precisely. If I start asking interview questions, they get turned off. Then move on. Move on. That's a woman who cannot handle. Yeah, just move on. Not you, but we as men. No, just move on. I keep telling men this. I keep telling men, y'all need to vet better. I have been telling y'all this forever. You need to vet women. And guess what? Take sex off the table. Stop being so, sexually driven. Stop, wanting to get laid so bad. That's why y'all are missing things. Because you just want to be laid so bad. And then you wound up having sex with a woman that's having sex with everybody else. And you're like, yeah, I met this woman and we got together and she cheated on me. Yeah, because you did not. I hate to break it to you. You missed something. You missed something. And it was probably because that beauty or the booty blinded you. It blinded you to the truth. And now you knee deep in it and you see this is not a virtuous woman. This is not a loyal woman. This is not a faithful woman. You missed something. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. I tell the same thing to women. You missed something. No, Anita, people change and they pretend and this and that. They can't pretend forever, sweetheart. And if you keep them legs closed and you stay off your back and your knees, you're going to find out quick. It ain't even going to take months, baby. It's going to take days. Let a man know quick that he ain't getting no, okay? And who he is going to show up real fast. But y'all not willing to do that. Garland Stillwell says, people should read the contents of a personal data questionnaire that federal appointees must fill out. The depth of the questions will shake most folks. I love those things. I absolutely love those things. I think it should be common, like, okay, fill this out. Fill this out. Fill this out. Turn all your cards over. LOL, men have to be attracted but act like they don't want sex. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, you can be attracted to a woman, but I want you to let her know, hey, sex is on my mind, but it's not the only thing on my mind. So understand what I'm saying, gentlemen. I'm not telling you to totally extinguish your sexual desire. You should let a woman know that you desire her in that way, that you desire her in a romantic way, in a physical way. But you also have to follow it up with, but what else you got? Because here's one thing I know about men. Once that sexual desire is quenched, if you don't really like a woman like that, that's when it turned into the situationship. That's when it turned into the friends with benefits. That's when it turned into the booty call and all of that. Because the truth is, you don't really like her. And as I said in my video, a man's standard for sex is low. Yeah, you'll have sex with anything. But what type of woman will you go on a 5-day road trip? Ooh, how about this? You talk about a test. This is a test. This is a test, y'all. Okay, you meet a person and within 30 days, you are required to go on a 5-day road trip with that person. A lot of y'all not going to pass that test. 5 days. You and that person are going on a road trip for 5 days. And y'all together are going to plan where you stop, where you eat, where you sleep. You're going to plan all that together for 5 days. And if you can come back from that and feel good about that, then you can move forward. But a lot of y'all will not. You will come back from that like, I don't know what I was thinking. Oh my God. And look, that is the caveat now. 5-day road trip, no sex, no sexual anything, no kissing. You can hold hands, you can hug, but there's to be no sexual anything. But you got to go on a road trip with this person in a car for 5 days. A lot of y'all won't make it out of that little test. Okay, so I've actually attempted that. I've actually attempted that with a couple of men that I've dated. Like, yeah, I remember one time there was a guy I was dating. This was years ago. And I was living in Atlanta. And I told him I was driving to Richmond. I said, yeah, I'm driving home. That's an 8-hour drive, y'all. I said, yeah, I'm driving home. I'm going to hang out there for 2 or 3 days and then come on back. And I had talked about stopping in South, what is the name of it? Myrtle Beach. I had talked about stopping in Myrtle Beach. Like, oh, I'm thinking about going on this road trip, going home, but I want to stop at Myrtle Beach and then go up and then come back. And he was like, yeah, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. I'll drive with you. And I just was smiling inside like, okay, we're going to find out. We're going to find out what you made of. We about to find out. Okay? So, yeah, y'all. Look, that man drove all the way to Myrtle Beach, then drove all the way here to Richmond, met my mom. We didn't stay at my mom's house because my mom's like, nope, I don't play that. Y'all need to get a hotel. So, look, we got a hotel. But we stayed here for 2 days, and I showed him around, and we drove back. And he made it. He made it out alive. I was like, okay. I might be able to rock with you. But it's been other people that I couldn't make it 2 days. 2 days and I was done. I was like, yeah, we need to go back. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I don't like you like that. Like, yeah. So I'm just telling y'all. He said most folks won't get past who controls the car radio. Precisely. Like, that should truly be the test. You meet a man and within 30 days you say, you know what? I would like to drive from here to New York, or I would like to drive to Florida. And see, number one, will he go? And number two, see what that trip is really like. That's when you're gonna really find out who you rocking with. See? But y'all want to jump into bed before you do that. You want to get all, bonded physiologically. You want to get all hormonally bonded. And then you want to try all this stuff I'm suggesting. And now you frustrated like, well, I thought that it was good. I thought this was my person, but they really get on my nerves. Yeah, because sex is clouding your judgment. Sex is clouding your judgment. But take sex out of it. And go on that road trip. You're going to see who you really got. You're going to be like, darn, this is not what I thought. I don't like you. And remember, y'all, liking is important. In my mind, liking is more important than loving. Because the way y'all love work, like y'all love ain't too steady. Y'all love ain't too strong. Y'all love wax and wane. But if you like me, if you dig me, okay, to me, that means something. Like if you really dig me, if we can hang out in the apartment, if we can sit there and have coffee, have tea, if we can watch a show, if we can just chill, that means something to me. But y'all out here telling people you love them, that don't mean nothing to me. If I could be so frank, you telling me that don't mean nothing to me. And y'all be love bombing too? Y'all love bombers? You can keep that love. You can keep that love. Daddy Moon Sauce says, my wife and I have been married 14 years. We agree and disagree on many things, but we always respect each other. I love it. I love to hear that. Thank you. We need more people. We need more people talking about their healthy relationships. I've seen people say crazy things to people. They say they love. Yep. That's why I said do crazy things. Okay. Do crazy things to people they say they love. My thoughts exactly. That's why I'm like, you can keep it. Like, you can keep that. You can keep that love. Do you like me? Do you trust me? Do you admire me? Do you respect me? That's what I'm after. But this whole idea of love, y'all don't even know what that really means. So you can keep it. I got men out here within 2 weeks of knowing me. I love you. And no, you can keep it. You can keep that. That whole love bombing thing, I'm good. I'm good. So just understand, like I said, people out here, I need those 4 things. I need those 4 boxes checked. And I always say that. There's a biological chemical reaction when a couple have sex. You act goofy because you are dealing with chemical imbalance. You literally are not in your right mind. Life hits hard when you're sober. Yep. So much confusion around love. Yep. That's why it's just sad that it doesn't mean what it used to mean. So I go by God's definition. Y'all know that. I pull up that scripture and I simply replace the person's name. Is he kind? Is he patient? Is he, see? And if I can't answer yes, we have a problem. That is not love. God is love. God has given us the definition of true love. So y'all can keep y'all version of love. I'm good. Like I said, I'd much rather be liked. I'd much rather have a healthy friendship with a person than deal with the foolishness of what y'all are doing out here right now. So that's just me. I'm built different. But emotional immaturity, that is running rampant. You have an entire generation of people who do not want to grow up, who do not want to mature in their mind, in their spirit, in their emotions. You have a whole generation of people who are broken and traumatized. They do not want to get better. They actually fear. This is what is so funny. People fear the antidote. They fear the solution. I'm not trying to go to therapy. I'm not trying to read a book. I'm not trying to listen to something. I'm not trying to journal. I'm not trying to go out in nature. I'm not trying to, they fear the antidote. They fear the solution. So they'd rather stay in a familiar hell than an unfamiliar heaven. That's what we have going on right now. Thank you, Garland. Thank you. So, yeah, but emotional immaturity, that is one of the biggest barriers to us having healthy relationships, is 2 emotionally immature people. Or you may have one person who is emotionally mature dealing with a person who is emotionally immature. And so you're never really going to get anywhere. The first person, has to work overtime to manage the other person's emotions and manage their feelings and manage their triggers and, talk them down off of ledges. That gets exhausting. No, thank you. I'm good. So until we decide to grow up, until we decide to actually act like adults, 21 is the legal age of consent. And you got people coming in my office at 37 saying they're too young. I'm too young to get married. I'm too young to have kids. Wow. That's crazy. I've read that chemistry attraction is with someone who you can relive your childhood traumas. That's true. It's called imago therapy, which we all pretty much have. So we hope to relive and maybe change the end, but mostly just relive okay, she cut off. Yeah, you're going to relive what you've already been through. You hope to change it, but most of the time you won't. It's called imago therapy. So I do a lot of that therapy with couples. They are choosing people that are most like the mother or father or caregiver that they had the most trouble with. So they're choosing people that's okay, this person's like mom, this person's like dad. They're familiar. They're reminding me of my emotionally unavailable father. They're reminding me of my critical mother. But you know what? If I choose this person and I can win them over, I can open them up emotionally. I can make them love me. I can make them be faithful. I can make them be kind. Guess what? I win in the past and I win in the present and the future. That's what these people are telling themselves. Okay. And so they're going to pick these people and they're going to try and they're going to try and they're going to try. And all that's going to happen is they're going to get re-traumatized. They're going to re-trigger themselves. They're going to feel just like they did with dad. They're going to feel just like they did with mom. And the cycle just keeps going and going and going. And then they have a toxic loyalty, right? Just like they have a toxic loyalty to the parent. Well, I can't leave this person. I can't go about my business. I can't find somebody else. Like, this is my person. I've got to stay with them. I've got to work through it. I've got to work it out. Yeah. Yeah. And over and over and over. I did it. I did it for years. I chose men exactly like my dad. And those men had the good traits of my dad. That those men are all very masculine. That's one thing about Anita. She's not going to choose a feminine soy boy man. Like, I cannot even get wet for those type of men. I cannot get excited for those type of men. So I'm never going to choose those type of men. You can be assured of that. I'm going to choose men who are very masculine. I'm going to choose men who have a level of leadership and confidence, because that is what I'm attracted to. However, the bad side of my dad is, he has been a longtime chronic type 2 cheater. I've talked about it here. He is a chronic cheater. My dad has been emotionally unavailable. He's only recently become more emotionally available. But emotionally unavailable, chronic cheating. And I have chosen those men over and over. I dated and lived with a man who shared my father's birthday. That's how bad it was. Okay. He and my dad would get together, and it was like looking at the same person, only like 35 years younger. It was crazy. I was like, oh, dang. Like, I think I'm dating my dad. Like, what am I doing? And it took 5 or 6 rounds of that before I started to do the work. And I started choosing men that were different than my dad. But it took a while. It took a long time. Over and over, I was choosing these men. And I was like, why can't I get these men to love me? Why can't I get these men to stay faithful? Why can't I get over and over? Anita, you are choosing these people. So once I got very familiar with imago therapy, and I did research on it, and I read all the books on it, and got the training and the t-shirt and all of it, I now purposefully, if I feel a strong attraction to a man, I purposefully don't engage with him. I automatically assume that man is familiar to my trauma. That man is familiar to my childhood. So I purposely don't choose him. I've had that happen a lot, where men will come on strong or come up to me and I'm like, no, I just say no. I just say no. I save myself a lot of heartache and headache. My sister-in-law is always trying to project her many failed relationship opinions into our relationship. My wife always replies, I've never had that issue with my husband. And my sister-in-law, okay, it got cut off, gets visibly upset. Yeah, because it is a projection. And so, yeah, set boundaries about that. Set boundaries about the whole, hey, I don't appreciate the projection. You've been through what you've been through, keep it over there. Like, just, yeah, have a firm boundary around that. Don't let that come into your relationship. But I had to do work on that. I was like, nope, I will not continue this cycle of being attracted to and attracting the same type of men. And now I like the boring men. I like the calm, nurturing, kind men. I like, yeah, they're all but boring. Like, they're all but boring. And if they cannot commit, if they are not emotionally available, I run. I'm just like, nope. And look, I come off as real needy in the first 3 dates. That's how I run them off. I come off real needy. And if they're like, man, look, and if they use the word needy, that's when I know to leave them alone. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just stop calling them. I stop answering their calls. Because I'm like, yeah, all you're doing is priming me to not get my needs met. Well, you're so needy, and you want me to call every day, or you want to talk every day. And I just say, okay, but then I never talk to them again, because I'm like, yeah, that's not needy. That's actually called normal, healthy communication between people who are dating. So, but they'll trick you. They'll try to trick you into thinking something's wrong with you, and it's not. So don't buy it. Don't fall for it. So everyone has some trauma and is doing imago for the most part. I mean, there's a few people out there that I would consider, okay, they had pretty good parents, and they may be actually choosing people like their parents, but in a good way. So they're choosing good people based on their programming. Like, yeah, why would I choose a drug addict? Why would I choose an alcoholic? I didn't grow up with that. So that's a good thing. right? That's a good thing. Now, neither of my parents were like drug addicts, alcoholics. I've never chosen people with substance problems. I've never chosen people who were violent. Like, everybody has their own stuff, right? That's not my stuff. That's not my trauma du jour, So a lot of people will say, oh, you seem pretty healthy. You seem pretty, yeah, because for the most part, I didn't grow up with any like major, like I've not been sexually abused. Nobody's addicted to anything. I don't have parents that have ever been incarcerated. Yeah, so that's just not my trauma du jour. But you have other people where if they have an addicted parent, they'll then choose an alcoholic. They'll then choose an addict. And again, they'll do the dance of the codependent dance. I've got to save them. I've got to rescue them, and have this toxic loyalty. So the reason why it's so important that people sit down, you need to sit down and you need to journal or write out what mom was like, what dad was like. This is how I broke the cycle. I did this in my own therapy. So she gave me a piece of paper. She told me to put my dad's name at the top and just free form write out who he was, what he was about, what I thought about him. I did the same thing for my mother. And it became very clear to me, like, oh my gosh, yes, these are the patterns. These are the things that I keep looking for in other people. And so now I purposefully do not go in that direction. So if I see things like emotionally unavailable, if I see things like aloof, if I see people who are not good communicators, if I see chronic cheating signs, see, now I know, just delete that person. Like, just don't consider that person at all. And it is very much, it's not an emotional decision, it's a logical decision. At some point, you have to make a logical decision. It can't be based on your feelings, because if it's just about your feelings, you're going to go in the direction of what's familiar, right? So that's why we have to be in wise mind. That's why I'm going to start talking about that more. Wise mind says emotions and logic. Those two things have to come together. Emotions and logic have to come together. We can't just act out of emotions. And we can't just act out of logic. We'll miss some things if we don't have some emotion in there. Okay? But yeah, I encourage people to try Imago. I encourage, the DBT. That's something I'm working with on people. I'm actually attending a class today, later tonight online. I'm attending a DBT class. All right, I'm so sorry, y'all. My phone overheats and it just cuts off. Like, my phone overheats and it just cuts off. Everybody keeps telling me that shouldn't happen. But if I have my phone in my phone holder, if I have my phone here and the sun is directly on it, my phone overheats. And when that happens, it just shuts clean off. So I apologize for that. But I am headed into the office. So I thank you all for showing up for lives. I thank you for the support that you give to my platform. So see, I have to put my phone down. My phone is now on the holder that is directly in front of the AC vent. That is what has to happen to keep my phone cool. But I will go to the Apple store. I will look into it. I had another follower say to me, hey, you need to go to the Apple store, let them look into it, because it shouldn't be doing that. But that is what it's doing. And it's supposed to be like 98 degrees today. So I don't know how y'all keep y'all phones cool. I don't know if it's because I be talking on my phone too much. I don't know what it is. But my phone overheats. But yeah, he said have the AC vent blowing on it. That's what I have now. So what's holding my phone now is clipped to the AC vent, is blowing right on the phone. But I want to encourage you all to look into some of these therapies, okay? Depending on what you believe your blocks are, what you believe some of your past wounds or traumas are around. I want you to look into dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT. I want you to look into cognitive behavioral therapy, all about minding your thoughts, minding your behaviors, your actions, and minding your feelings. And then I want you to look into acceptance and commitment therapy. That's another one I'm getting trained in. And Imago therapy, especially if you're in a relationship. Imago therapy is a really good therapy for those who are in relationships and they see a lot of the same patterns acting out in their relationships over and over. So DBT is dialectical behavioral therapy. And it's built around the concept of two things can be true at the same time. A lot of us have black and white thinking. A lot of us have this thinking that says, you know, if one thing is true, another thing cannot be. And that is not the case. Two things can be true at the same time. That's dialectical thinking. So it's not either or, it is both and. Okay, I was actually looking that up the other day because I was using the wrong thing. It's both and, okay? That's what dialectical behavioral therapy teaches us. And it also teaches us how to radically accept ourselves. A lot of us, especially people of color, we really struggle with this radical acceptance. And think about that. We have all but been programmed to think there's something wrong with us. Right? That we're not enough. There's something wrong with us. We're bad. We're dirty. We're wrong. We're this, we're that. Whereas DBT teaches us to radically accept ourselves, to radically have empathy and compassion for ourselves and for others. Because that's why a lot of us, we can't offer up compassion for others because we don't have it for ourselves. We're very hard on ourselves. So I want you to look into some of those. There's a lot of other great therapies, but yeah, I'm going to be honest. If you lived through childhood, if you made it to adulthood, chances are you got some traumas in there. You got some wounds. You got some bad things that happen. And like I said, depending on the person will depend on how serious it is. For the most part, I would say I did not really experience any truly like seriously traumatizing things, right? For the most part, I did not have any major, like my ACEs score is not very high. That's the other thing I want you to do. If you want to truly find out like what's going on inside of you, I want you to go to Google and I want you to look up ACEs, ACES. Look up ACEs test. Okay. And I want you to take it. I want you to go to an online website and look up ACEs test. And I actually want you to take it. And that's going to tell you what your level of trauma is. That's actually going to explain to you, like, this is what you got going on. But my ACEs score is really not that high. So that's why I tell people, for the most part, I don't have a lot of serious, like deep traumas. I didn't experience any addiction, any domestic violence, any sexual violence. I didn't see any like, you know, street violence or anything like that. You know, I really didn't have that in my childhood, but a lot of people have. A lot of people have experienced that. They've experienced some serious abandonment, all kinds of things. So take that ACEs. That's going to tell you where you are in terms of what type of therapy you need and what you need to work on. Okay, Bun and Cheese says DBT is one of my favorite things to do with my patients with adjustment disorder. Exactly. You get it. Okay. So yes, I really want y'all to look into this. Okay. But this is the work we have to do. Yes. Attachment theory. Okay, good. Dolly Rose Paris, you came up secure. Excellent. I want you to see, though, if you're leaning in any one direction or another. Are you leaning avoidant? Are you leaning anxious? But attachment theory, that's another thing. I took a training in that last year. I was really hype on attachment theory last year because I dated someone who was avoidant and I wanted to understand, like, okay, this was very traumatizing, like, to me emotionally. I had a friend that was avoidant. I dated someone who was avoidant, and I was like, yeah, I need to understand this because this is very hurtful. This is very, like, this is really making me feel bad about myself, making me feel like there's something wrong with me. And I had to really understand attachment theory. So now I have more compassion. I have more empathy for those people. I don't want to date them, I don't want to date them anymore. But I have compassion and empathy for them. So that helped me a lot to understand people who have attachment issues and avoidance and anxious and all of that. I got to learn more about that. So, but yes, that is doing the work. And remember, just going to therapy and sitting your little tuchus on someone's couch is not doing the work. Okay? That's not doing the work. That is checking a box. That is you being able to just say, oh, I went to therapy. So when people ask you, what work are you doing? Please don't mention the check box of I went to therapy and that's it. Like, you're going to actually have to say, so I went to therapy for 6 months. I read this book on attachment. And then I actually started to apply some of the things in that book. I started to do some of the things that my therapist suggested. And it was really uncomfortable. And it felt really scary. And it was really hard to be vulnerable. See, that's doing the work. But when a person when I ask them that question and they, oh, I went to therapy. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm just being honest. No, thank you. Like, you checked the box. You went and sat on someone's couch or sat in someone's chair and you talked to them and maybe they talked to you, but that's all that happened. Like, that's all that happened. So no, that does not constitute any real work being done. You have not grown 1 inch. Okay. So just be mindful of people that are quick to tell you, yeah, I went to therapy. I went to therapy for 6 months. I went to therapy for a year. Your next question is, great. So what are some of the insights that you got? What are some of the things that you learned doing therapy? What are some of the things that came out of that? What are some things that you're doing different? What are some things that you're now applying in your life because of this experience? If there is no answer forthcoming, abort. Abort. That person checked a box. It's just like people who go through a bad breakup or a divorce and they monkey branch or they rebound. Abort. Like, these people are not doing, they're distracting themselves. They are using people as human teddy bears. They are distracting themselves and they are emotionally using other people to do that. Please leave people like this alone. Okay? Because these people hurt other people. Like, that's kind of how they work. They hurt other people. They remember what I said about playing. We don't play with people. We play with things. We play with basketballs. We play with footballs. We play with tennis rackets and tennis balls. We do not play with people. Be mindful of people who play with people. They are the most dangerous people on the planet. Okay? And that's honestly what I think is what we have a lot of out here, is people who are in an extended adolescent period. They don't want to grow up and they want to play with people. They want to play with people. They want to use people as human teddy bears. So avoid those people. Okay? All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all joining. I appreciate you coming back from that little break in the live because, yeah, sometimes things happen. And I will be talking with you all again soon. I'm going to be going to London at the end of July, and I will be creating content while I'm over there. I'm super excited to be on a few content creators podcasts that are over there. So that is super exciting. I cannot wait. And, but I'm telling you that because I also may be on a little bit of a break. So I'll make content when I can. And then there'll be days where you won't hear from me or see me because I'm going to actually try to enjoy myself. So have a great rest of the day. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who bought a badge. Have a great day. And as always, stay open to love.